Eagles. Hop on here real quick. I'm still upset at Kevin Patullo. That has not changed. But I want to talk about AJ real quick. So, AJ has a really, he goes on some podcasts or he's on some Twitch stream, whatever. It's not like he tweets. It's not like that. He's talking to his friend. People can't even talk to their friends now in confidence without it being mistaken. Oh, you're a celebrity, so you know anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of public opinion. But I think this one, unlike some of his other ones, to me hit more home, right? He said some of the same stuff before. It's not like this is the first time he said, I just want to help. I just want to help. He said that before, but in this one, it really seemed to me like, I got you, AJ. I understand. People, one of the reporters made good points. Is like, hey, other great wide receivers are double covered or, are clouded, which is what he used in his interview. What he said, I'm gonna get clouded, but they still get him the ball, and I think this is a good point. I think this is a good point. And he said, "Scheme me open." Hey, we've all been saying that. We've all been saying that. Stop running the same dry schemes that a defender can run in their sleep and know exactly where AJ is going to be, because then that limits Jalen's ability to put the ball right where it needs to be sometimes, right? He still has that great ability to drop it in the bucket. You see it with Devontae. You've seen it with AJ plenty of times. But when you're he even mentioned it. AJ mentioned it. When he's one-on-one, Jalen takes these shots, right? Because dropping in the bucket in one-on-one coverage is different than dropping in the bucket with clouded or double covered. Because now you're really running the risk that one of the two guys can make a play on the ball versus AJ just beating his man. And AJ said that. He said in the Vikings game, I can't remember which game he referenced, but he said it in the interview. He said, when I was one-on-one, they got me the ball. And then when I got clouded, the targets went away. So let's scheme. And I've mentioned this in other videos too. I said that when you look at what you can see, because we don't always get the full picture on the field. When you look at what you can see, our guys look covered. And Jalen is having to figure it out. And he has really, really good production. When you see a lot of stats for QBs, you see high attempts and somewhere between mid to a little bit over mid completion percentages. But when then you look at Jalen's and you got like 15 for 19 or 19 for 23, he chooses targets that he believes that he and his receivers can manage. So I really admire Jalen and his sight on the field for that. He really connects with the throws he chooses to make. And sometimes they're high or wide or off, but that happens with every single quarterback. So I don't know why people want to get on our QB for that. Everybody misses their targets in every sort of fashion. So that's not really a knock on Jalen or the Eagles. But I really appreciated AJ's interview. I appreciated him not really biting his tongue, but also not throwing people under the bus. He did a really great job of doing that, and that's what I don't want to see from our players. I don't want to see them pointing fingers and calling people out and really causing a division amongst everybody. AJ isolated the problem to himself. AJ isolated his frustrations to himself, not to the team. He didn't complain that they're not winning. He didn't complain about any of that other stuff, but wanting to help and saying, hey, here's how I think you could help me. Draw me up something that's more creative or better so that I can get these looks even on clouded or double coverage. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I know media won't say that. I know media call him a diva and all this other stuff. I think this is absolutely foolish. I prefer it not to be on tweets because anything that you write has the opportunity to be misconstrued. It happens that way when you text somebody, if you don't put the punctuation in the right spot, if you use the wrong word. Inference can't really be understood in text. And it's the same thing with anything written. It's really, really hard to communicate your heart's feelings on a topic like this. So his interview, I thought that he did wonderfully. Now, if you got me in fantasy, take me out. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a candid conversation with the guy, and it made sense, right? Listen, fantasy players are serious about their fantasy points, and if the whatever the line is for AJ to make 100 yards, and you put him in your fantasy, you're messing up your team right now because that's not the reality of what we see on the field. So that is a nothing burger. Wilds made a great point with a crack in the windshield. He made this this reference about how it seemed big and he was all worried the glass was going to be in his face, and he called Safe Flight or whoever his insurance company was, and it was like, oh yeah, we'll come by and fix it in 90 minutes. I think that was so on point. This thing can be fixed in 90 minutes, air quotes, 90 minutes. Because you still have Hurts, who knows how to put the ball and make plays happen. You have AJ, who is amazing. All you need is Patullo to come to life, okay? He needs to put a Giants-type game together. Or look at what Kellen did last year when in the Super Bowl and in the Pittsburgh game or in the Ravens game or in any game that Jalen had to throw. Look at some of the stuff he did. Or listen, that might be too much on film, right? Let me even back up from that. You can take examples. This is why we have film on other teams. You can take examples from other teams where their top receivers are covered the way that AJ is covered and scheme him off of that. It doesn't have to be specific to our own film and our own stuff. You can use examples. You can use high school. You can use anything to get AJ some better looks. And you know what? The production that you do for any player, which AJ mentioned, is like he loves being the decoy when he knows that his teammates are going to eat off of that, right? Devontae eating and Goddard and all those other things. That's fine, but that's just one piece of them. We don't have AJ the decoy. We got AJ the number one wide receiver. So yeah, in some instances, let the pressure that comes from him being great free up other people, but also keep him great by giving him opportunities to be great. I hope that makes sense. I don't want forced stuff though. I never want you to force the ball to a player. Because what happens is with some of these games where you're forcing it, the defense anticipates it, understands where they are in relation to the offense, and makes jumps on the ball. There were a couple in that Packers game where they could have easily been intercepted, but because they were too far even for our guys to get them, or they were so spot on the money, like that one to Goddard. I can't understand how it got caught. It looked like it was AI to me, the way that he caught that one ball that was contested, because the defender had to be within millimeters of getting it, but Goddard made it, and Jalen made a great pass. We don't want to get predictable with our looks and with our attempts to AJ. What we want is to put him in a position to win. And put all of our players in a position to win. Goddard, Calcaterra, Dotson. And see, the thing that I keep harping on about this is you have all these guys that have proven over the years that when their number is called, they're ready. Dotson. Calcaterra's made some crazy catches, even though he doesn't get targeted that much, but he did last week. Goddard, Smitty, AJ. You got 5 guys that can eat. 5 guys that can get you what you need. Then you don't lose your identity on the run. Remember, I said that. Keep them honest. You got to keep them honest with the run, but stop running it right up the gut every 3 plays in a row, 4 plays in a row, 12 plays in a row. Give them some outlooks. Hey, how about lining Tank and Shipley, or Tank and not AJ, Tank and Saquon up together and running some double crosses and giving them exotic looks that still hold firm to your identity that we're going to run, or design runs for Hurts. When it's called for, I think that design run for Hurts in that Packers game was beautiful. I mentioned it. It's just that it just so happened that there was a player underneath him and he couldn't get on the ground and he tried to put his arm down. Perfect punch out. I mean, there's nothing you can do there. But that play was designed beautifully. He went free. He barely got touched. It's just unfortunate, the series of events. Hey, we need that. We need that in this Lions game. If we don't get production out of these 5 guys and our running backs, I think we have a hard time winning. Now, granted, our defense balling, but this ain't about the defense today. And like I said, if they lay a turd, I'm not even going to complain. I said, hey, better luck next time if they do. They've been so great. They get a pass. The offense is what really needs to hone in. So, AJ, I'm with you. I agree with you. Thank you for how you expressed yourself again. And we need to respond with this. We need to really, really, really make sure that all of our receiving core is utilized more effectively, especially AJ, and get this ball rolling. There's still a lot of football left. Well, we are week 11. There's 18 weeks. We already had our bye. So week 11 is 7 more games. We got 7 games plus all of the playoffs to really get cooking. So it's not like the ship has sailed. The horn is blowing though. The ship's horn, first call, last call horns are coming. First call horn is blowing. Last call horn will be in a couple games if we don't get this right. I don't want to see AJ go. I want to see AJ be happy, not only with the overall success of the team winning, but him being a core part of that he has been in years past. It really has only been last year and this year that, in my opinion, that this has been a problem. Since we got Saquon, that this has been a problem. When we had Swift, which I still love, I love how Swift runs, and Gainwell, this wasn't as big of an issue. And we were still a run first team and then. But we found ways to make AJ be a superstar. And he had the numbers and he had the reps and he's had the legacy that he built up with that production. So let's get that back going. I want to see us firing on all cylinders like we did last year. I want to see us, it doesn't have to look the same, but I want to see us firing on all cylinders like we did last year. I want to see us go into the playoffs strong and dominating the playoffs. Look, the NFC, unlike the AFC, is a tightly contested bunch. The AFC is spaghetti right now. You don't know what's going to happen. But the NFC with the Rams, if we have to face them again and how much better they've gotten, it's going to be brutal. If we have to face, I'm not sold on the Seahawks because of strength of schedule. We'll see once they go up against the Rams. If they do to the Rams what they've done to all the other teams, I will be convinced. If they don't, then I'll be like, okay, see, this is what you get when you get a good team. But the Rams, the Bucks, who else is on our side that's really going at it? Let me look real quick. This isn't going too long. I'm gonna be done. I'll be wrapped up in a second. I know I do make long videos. I just like to talk. I just like to express myself, and I don't really care how long the video is. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for fun. And for my grandbabies to look at and be like, Pop, I saw your video. I gave it a like. It always warms my heart so much when they tell me that. I saw your new video and I gave it a thumbs up. And I'm like, oh, it just really brings joy to my heart for that. And that's really why I do it. And if, God forbid, something happened to me tomorrow, they have a bunch of videos and pictures and other stuff that we have, but a bunch of videos. They can be like, it was my pop-up, the Eagles fan who got us all looking at it, and that's why we're all Eagles fans. But I digress. In our conference, the Packers are good. We saw that. Their defense is great. So we'll run into these guys. The Packers, the Bucks. 49ers don't look too bad. I'm not out on them in our division. The Rams and the Lions. So it's 5 teams that are going to be in the playoffs, and you don't know how it's going to shake out, but you'll run into one of them. So we gotta have our ducks in a row for the playoffs so we can make that gorgeous run. That gorgeous run to the Super Bowl and then beat whoever from the AFC trips into it. Be it the Chiefs, be it the Bills, be it the Patriots, be it who else on their side is doing real good. I doubt it'll be the Texans. The Chargers. That was another one. It might be the Chargers. It could be any one of those teams. The Ravens. That would be crazy if it was the Ravens. If it's the Ravens or Bills versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl, that's going to be nuts. I know everybody's going to die of depression if it's Chiefs-Eagles again. But I like the tiebreaker. For an Eagles fan, we like the tiebreaker for that. But I'd much rather have Bills-Eagles 38-30 is my prediction, or Ravens, and I don't know what the score will be, but I still predict we will win. I think that'd be a great Super Bowl. All right. That was just my quick thoughts. And around the league, again, the AFC for Week 10 is weird. And for the NFC, we still have a lot of competition that needs to shake out. And this weekend, a lot of those top teams face each other. So we'll start to really kind of get a picture for the rest of the year going forward. All right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds.